Namaste, I am Soumya and welcome to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I am the author of Because Life is a Blessing. It's a poetry book which has a little bit of journal entries, a little bit of prose. It's a very feminine journey of going through heartbreak, understanding what self-love means, what self-worth means, what boundaries mean, healing oneself and eventually finding a love that is aligned with one's highest good and deepest well-being. It's not a book that's going to change your complete life, but it's a definite must for anyone, especially any woman who's going through a stage of who am I? Is this relationship for me? Why am I feeling this? Why am I so lost? What is self-love? What is self-discovery? Who am I? This book is a perfect, I could say, tool in your healing process and self-discovery process. I will leave the Amazon link down in the description. The reason I went on length about my book is because today's video is about relationships, my favorite topic, along with perfumes and intentional living and personal development. This video is not for anyone who is in an abusive relationship. So that's the first thing I want to caveat. I also want to tell you that I'm only mentioning one aspect of relationships today. So we are not covering the whole thing, just one aspect, and that, according to me, my life experiences, my studies in psychology, and the background I come from, which is HR, which is a lot of people relations and stuff like that, I find it's a very key ingredient. So use your discernment, take what resonates with you, leave the rest. If we show up to our relationships, whether it's romantic relationships or any other relationships or friendships, with an attitude of what can you give me, rather than how can I help you, how can I serve you, how can we mutually nourish each other, then we are definitely setting ourselves, the other person and the relationship up for failure. Now, when I say show up with an attitude of how can I serve you, if it has triggered you in some way, now is a great time to pause the video, take out your journal and just write what's coming up for you. Inner work. Now, if it hasn't triggered you and you still want to listen, then the point we are coming to is we need to know how to fill up our own cup. We need to know how to meet our own needs and wants. If we are wounded, we are empty, and we show up into a relationship with either an aware demand, a demand that's very aware in your consciousness, or very, very unaware, unconscious demand that I'm broken, I'm sad, I am feeling incomplete, and I want you to love me, to validate me, to give me that feeling of completeness, to give me that feeling of happiness, then we are giving our power away to someone else. And it's almost as if we are using the other person as crutches. When we use someone else as our crutches, we are saying that we are handicapped. I don't know how to be happy by myself. I do not know how to meet my own needs and wants by myself. I do not want to go on a self-awareness or self-development journey by myself. I do not want to change or improve anything in me. The only thing I want is someone else to love me, to validate me, so that through that I can feel whole and complete. As I mentioned, we are giving our power away, and it's a very, I would never use the word toxic, but I would say a very unhealthy dynamic. If you are showing up in your relationship as a needy child, you are making your partner the parent. Let that sink in. If you are showing up in your relationship as a victim who feels victimized by your partner. Now you're sad, your partner is not fulfilling your needs, you are bitter, you feel victimized by your partner, you are automatically putting your partner as the villain. So just have an awareness of how are you showing up in your relationships, because the way you show up changes the dynamic of the relationship. Now, what happens when you show up as someone who's self-aware, who's aware of your own love language, who knows your attachment style, who understands your own inner child wounds, who is working on oneself, whether it's by journaling, meditating, exercising, by going for therapy, by having nourishing conversations with friends and loved ones, by nourishing all the aspects of your life and all the relationships in your life. When you show up as someone who has his or her own goals, now you are an empowered person. When you show up as an empowered person in your relationship, you let your partner show up in a more empowered way. Now you're inspiring your partner. Something I learned the hard way. I have been married for 13 years, and my humble takeaway from 13 years of marriage is I need to know how to take care of myself. I need to know how to meet my own needs and wants. And what I do on a daily basis is, just before brushing my teeth in the morning, I look at the mirror and I smile at myself. As soon as I'm done brushing my teeth, I ask myself hey, Soumya, how are you? Did you sleep well? I love you. What do you want to do today? How are you feeling? Do you want to work out? Do you want to go out? Do you want to meet someone? Do you want to meet your friends? Do you want to do Ho'oponopono before your coffee? Do you want to do 15 minutes Vipassana or 30 minutes Vipassana? What's coming up for you? Do you want to journal? Oh, is it that time of the month for you? Maybe you need more nourishing food, nourishing thoughts. So I go through a process of nourishing myself, filling up my own cup. Now what happens is, I take the responsibility of taking care of myself, and when I nourish myself, I fill my own cup. Then I love the other person from my overflow. I am not empty, I'm overflowing with nourishment and love. When we give up on ourselves and do a lot of sacrifices, which I am someone who's been brought up like that and taught like that, and my wiring is also like that. So I was giving from an empty cup, which actually built a lot of resentment in me, that I'm not seen, I'm not heard, I'm not validated, I'm doing this much for everyone. I fed breakfast to everyone while I didn't even have a glass of water first thing in the morning. It built a lot of resentment in me, and now my attitude is, I'll give myself a glass of warm water first thing in the morning before I start with brushing my son's teeth and getting the breakfast ready and getting on with the day. And it's a tiny thing, but when I started putting myself first, nourishing myself first, by being aware of how am I feeling, how is my body feeling, how am I feeling mentally, emotionally, am I feeling drained, and if I'm feeling drained, what do I feel like doing so that I can replenish myself. I wouldn't say my relationship is like it's perfect, but I feel more stable and more loved. And just keep this in mind, I didn't manipulate my partner in any way so that he will love me more, he would validate me more. I just gave everything to myself that I was expecting from a partner. Boom. Only thing I would ask you to do is catch yourself every single time you feel like a victim, you feel angry, you feel drained, you feel unseen, unheard, and not validated, and see for yourself, where can I meet my own needs? Where am I abandoning myself? Where am I not listening to my own intuitions? I have started saying no do a lot of late in the evening outings. I could do it like once or twice a week, but I cannot do it every single day because I have to stick to a routine, especially for my son. Also, I'm not someone who can do this 12 o'clock in the in the middle of the night being out and about, because I know my body needs more rest. I know I need to be on bed at a particular time. I know I need my 8 to 9 hours of sleep. So I actually take care of myself. So every time when I feel that bitterness rising in me or a resentment rising in me, I'm able to catch myself instead of actually like getting angry at him and saying things that I'm not wanting to say. Sometimes we get into the state of, I am so hurt, I want to hurt you so bad that you would feel the same pain I'm feeling, which is all just a very nasty, negative dynamic. I'm not a confident, independent kind of a person. I've never been. I'm on a journey that is like my own. And we are all on our own journeys. You could be a mom, and that's not the only journey. That's not the only identity. You are still discovering other parts of yourself. You have other goals. You could be a mom, you could also be a career woman, you could be both. You have different things happening in your life. So when you realize the same thing about your partner, that he's not just my husband or she is not just my wife, my partner has his or her own needs and wants and goals and their own individual journeys, whether their own emotional journey, spiritual journey, their own journeys when it comes to their relationship with their family, their friends, their career. Then you feel with so much compassion that, oh my god, it's not just that I am going through a lot, my partner is also going through so much in his or her own life. And instead of being a draining person in their life, if I could be someone who can nourish myself and nourish my partner from my overflow, maybe this relationship can thrive, stay longer. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Namaste.